one of this best of 3. Let's get this underway. Is in the bottom left from Dragon Kaisi Gaming. This is going to be Oliveira taking on his teammate in the top right, the Red Protoss player herO. When was the last time that these two played against each other? Obviously, they played in the event at the end of in Katowice on the way to Oliveira's World Championship StarCraft history. Right there. They have played 3 times since Katowice. 2-1 to Oliveira in March in the ESL Open Cup Korea number 168. 2-1 in a Kung Fu Cup. And then 3-2 in KSL in June. So they haven't played since June, so yeah. I mean, Oliveira's not been playing a lot of online events. He's been playing in a few here and there, but yeah, he's genuinely being kind of a little bit less active than like your herOs and your Beyonds and these players who have been playing in pretty much all of these online events. Oliveira has not been playing in everything. So yeah, it's obviously cool to see him here. And then he takes out herO, gets to play herO in these semis, and has got a winning record against herO this year, which is obviously a very good sign as well. So yeah, very exciting. There's a couple of barracks startup from Oliveira, so he's already going into a pretty fun opening here. 2 barracks. I wonder if there's going to be a Reaper opening. You go for a few Reapers early, they can poke and harass around, they can have a very good time of it. There's a lot of potential there. So maybe something to keep our eyes on as first Reaper is starting up. It's always fun because it's like, it feels like 2-Rex Reaper's never meant to be great against a Protoss, but then sometimes it can just kind of overwhelm the Protoss miss micros. They're not used to playing against it. Oftentimes feels like the bigger issue, right? Like they're not used to kind of doing the right thing like they should and all of that, so sometimes gets a little bit intriguing. As you have the first Reapers on the way up then, so we'll see just what Oliveira can find with this as we get things underway. Man, send it down on the natural. Reaper coming up, reactor coming through. Reaper begins to make its way towards the upper right-hand side of the map here, so looking to see what will go on. Reaper just comes straight forwards. Going to start nibbling away at the pylon. Obviously start to get a little bit of damage done in the early stages. Nothing too severe. Start us out with just poking and prodding. When the extra Reapers get there, that's maybe when you can start to trade with some of the units. That's when the micro war will begin a little bit more, with a little bit more earnest behind it, you know. As we do have the Adepts here, going to get a Reaper kill. Oh no, it went onto the other Reaper. 2 hits on each Reaper, so they are low, but not dead. The Reapers may have to hang back, but they do get to keep themselves alive at least. Loving all the Oliveira hype in the chat, guys. Thanks for turning out to the ESL Open Cup Korea today. Thanks for showing some hype and some love in the chat. It's good to see. It's fun to see. Appreciate you guys. There's a couple of Reapers coming around. Stimpack is still building up. The factory's over halfway done. Blink, Warp Gate, Sentry. All the good stuff continuing through as a couple of additional gates come up as well. So building into everything here. As a couple of Adepts move forward, you just have those gateways producing over. And there is a depot going down at the front. So again, 1 depot in the front. Stimpack continues up. Again, our gateways are coming out. The factory is going to build a tech lab. Orbital Command drops down an initial mule. Blink is over halfway done as well, so just continue to bring that up. A gateway, a robot facility, all continuing out from herO. And then Marines pull back into the main base there as well, as that probe is going to micro around. A couple of assimilators are going to come up. And Reapers will pop out of this bunker. And they're just going to start moving themselves out across over to the right-hand side. Getting themselves in position for the first few moments. So getting all of that ready to go. Gonna see the siege tank popping now. We still see the starport on the way, the engineering bay coming up. Stimpack is about to finish, as you do see a hallucination gonna get turned around. A couple of Marines here putting some good damage out, and that hallucination is going to get killed. The hallucination will fall. A couple of Reapers come forward. The Adepts are there immediately, so the Reapers get pushed back. And that's just going to be how a +1 attack upgrade continuing through as well as the Adepts go over to the side. Just going to pick off the Reaper, and now Our units in the center are going to get a Reaper as well. So clearing up those early units, they never really did much. Oliveira obviously just using the 2 barracks as a platform to accelerate into now kind of a strong bio setup. Stim already done, combat shield and +1 on the way. So yeah, with that fast 2 racks, you get into those upgrades very quickly. And you're still going to hit the bio upgrades quickly, but also you can still hit the medevacs in the not too distant future too, because there is, you know, nice fast factory as well. Everything's just been focused around setting up into a decently timed bio push throughout the early minutes of this game still. Tank sets up in the natural, just going to see our next coming up. Observer's about finished. Colossus is on the way. Our battery is coming through. Combat shield, concussive shells, and +1 all coming up as well, as our bio unit's going to knock down a set of rocks on the low ground. So taking that out. Got the battery in just to the side of that pylon there. So battery's going to come up already. It's going to be seen our again +1 attack and combat shield continue through too. It's just bringing all of this in. We're going to begin to press forward. Bio 4 is going to come through. Stalker's going to start taking some hits. As they come all the way up, a few Stalkers are going to try and turn it back around. A few Marines are going to stim forward as well. Stalkers will get pushed away. Charge and our extended thermal lance continue up. Our Colossus is about halfway done. As we continue through with all of this. And just seeing our Marine going to get picked off by a few Stalkers there as well. So a couple of Marines going down. Tanks will be sieging. Colossus beginning to fire. Our bio units continue to press forward. The tank siege is up. Zald's going to get picked away at, and this is a big concave from Oliveira with tank support especially. Good that we have a battery on the right-hand side, otherwise herO would have been in a lot of trouble. Funny thing I don't like that Oliveira is doing is his medevacs are moving so much. They're not healing. It really feels like he could have been healing a lot more frequently throughout this and just keeping his units a bit higher HP throughout. That was just the medevacs, like I say, just kind of moving with the rest of the bio units, you know. Charge is about to finish. Our bio units are going to set up on the low ground, spreading a little bit. Our Stalkers will come through. Marauder very nearly going down. As we scan up, a little bit of bio coming in. Colossi shots onto the few Marauders as well. Just going to be seeing the armory, the engineering bay, the couple of additional barracks. All of that still coming through here as well. And we do see this army of herO still pushing into the center. Colossi gonna fire up a couple more shots, and just seeing our Dark Shrine about halfway done. The couple of Zealots are gonna finish. The Disruptor's still on the way. Stalkers blink forward again, going after the Marauder here. Just chasing down for a few moments. A couple of units getting taking some shots again. Widow Mines coming out to the front. herO just on the offensive now. Let's start pushing out across the map. Stalkers come through, gonna grab a little mine. There's gonna be seeing our Cross army in general getting set up in the center here. Is gonna go for a little bit of a press. Like I say, herO just taking map control throughout these early stages and getting set up, trying to make something of this. Oliveira in the middle of the map. Well, Shot decides to just back away. Doesn't want a friendly fire or anything, so just trying to take care of that, as we do have Oliveira still playing the defense over here. Still setting up, playing it safe and playing it steady at this point in time. On upgrades only just now finishing from herO, so he will be behind on... Well, he has been behind on 1-1. He'll be behind again for 2-2. That's an upgrade lead that maybe you can utilize as Oliveira to take into your advantage in some way. Maybe there's something to be done there. I say herO still feels pretty confident being out on the map, but I do feel like there's a stage where being on the map As Oliveira hits 2-2, Ghosts, Vikings. There's definitely engagements where being out on the map is going to hurt you as herO, so he has to be very cautious with his army. He can't just kind of, not pay attention to it or anything. He's got to be very on top of how he moves that around, what he looks to do with it. That's just something he has to be extremely active about, so has to keep an eye out there as units of herO come moving down to the south. Bunker coming up, 2-2 upgrades are still coming in. Just see now as Zealots going to turn onto the refinery pretty much straight away here. Disruptor Shot goes for the first Widow Mine as well. Stalker's coming around, just going to be seeing the army of herO going around the right side, and we do have a Sense Tower on the way up. Here, Oliveira just wants to know what direction herO might be coming from. Is a DT or to slip into the mineral line? So this is herO's way of pulling Oliveira out of position so you can maybe get a better, bigger fight. The scan here gets rid of the first Dark Temple. There's one in the main base. He just jump on the third at the same time. So herO punches the natural with a DT, punches the third base with the main army. Disruptors are delivering big blows as well to the units that are trying to run through here to support. It's not that herO's not going to lose anything, but he's going to lose significantly less than Oliveira lost. Although, at the very end, we're losing a little bit of firepower, so a few disruptors went down quite easily, and Oliveira gets a little bit extra done in the trailing moments. Not enough to maybe make up for everything dealt. There's one DT in the main stuck around a long time as well. And that really was just the DTs. They pulled Oliveira out of position, and just like that, herO gets the opportunity to dive with the main army. Down 16 workers. Army supply actually okay for Oliveira, but about to be equaled on upgrades, which is going to make life easier for herO once again. CC moves down to the bottom. Just going to be seeing our Stalkers, Disruptors, Colossi joining up, getting ready to push in towards the front here. We do have 3-3 continuing through on both sides. Our cannon's coming up, our Nexus is coming in. It's going to be seeing... one thing for herO is that he really has just taken the map behind all of this. Since Oliveira's first push, it just... because herO's been confident enough to step onto the map and stay on the map, it just feels like Oliveira's not really had an answer to kind of slow him down, and herO's just done as he wished. Back at home, Oliveira's not had any real action going on. Disruptor shot to the side. We'll keep a few units kind of pinned back. This medevac gets shot down as well. I was just going to be seeing our Bioforce pulling back over here. Disruptor shot will not quite land. The Bio wants to try and obviously jump on this. The Disruptors are meant to kind of stop a chase down happening. We lose a Disruptor. We're going to lose all the Colossi. Great chase down from Oliveira, and he's going to get a lot of herO's tech units all of a sudden. herO is in full retreat mode. That said, he's got so much static defense on those bases. Widow Mine is going to get blinked away from, so the DTs avoid damage there, and they will start to shred another mineral line. The army of Oliveira is good, but it's not good enough to go into the static defense, and he doesn't have the way to deal with the DTs or anything. And so that's going to be down one in this Dragon Kaizi Gaming showdown. It is going to be the blue Terran player, Oliveira. In the top left, our red Protoss, his teammate obviously in this match, and up one game. herO defends nicely early on, puts himself in a good position, and really plays out that position from there on out, going into the next stage. So, yeah, job well done. Let's now head into game number 2. We'll see if herO can have successful defenses once again, or if Oliveira can maybe find something early. If he's just going to get set up into the macro game a little bit better. The choices really are there. The options really are there. There's a lot of possibilities of how things turn out. Simulator coming up, Gateway coming through, and Barracks coming in as well. Let's just have ourselves the Gateway over on this edge. Cybercore coming out. Rax is on the way. Get this set for the early few moments. CC just continues into play. Our orbital command is building. Now Reaper's on the way out. Side of corners are producing along as well. Probe gonna come up into the main again. Again, a Adept on the way out, being chrono boosted. Just gonna be seeing the warp gate still coming through. Factory just over halfway done as well, as our probe's gonna get back to this gas nice and quickly. This Reaper starts to move out across to the top left as well. It's just gonna go get over and try and put some harassment down. Obviously, last game started off with the 2-Rax Reaper as well. That I think it's fair to say didn't really do much. Like mentioned, okay, it's like, well, you know, you got fast stim and stuff out of it, but it's not really ideal. You know, when you're opening 2-Rax Reaper, you know, you can get fast stim while having a nice fast command center as well, right? You still invested in Reapers that didn't really do anything. So, yeah, 1 Reaper to scout, but the rest was not so hot. Reaper comes around. Deb gonna go chasing. Twilight Council will finish in a moment. The warp gate is coming up to being completed. And our Hellion of Oliveira just continues to go pick up some further scout information. Reaper and Hellion combined should be able to get in and maybe try to figure something out. Depth shades. Hellion takes a shot of damage. Probes will start to take some hits. Stalker Sentry and the Adept together. Finish off the Hellion there. Now the Reaper going in after a probe. And I'm just going to be seeing our Stalker and Sentry continuing through as well. It's just across we go. Well, SVs come out. The Siege Tank as well. Marines are also building. And that Blink is still about halfway done here from herO. So, and that Blink up. Couple gates in the robo coming through as well. The probes are still coming in. Still getting a good amount of setup out of all of that. Oliveira starts up his tank production as well early, so I wonder if that's going to lead us into some sort of tank-based push at some stage here as well. It is a possibility. So tank coming up, a couple Marines on the way out. They're still producing through, and Real just drops down into the natural expansion. Oliveira will be not under too much pressure, right? 3 gates of Blink. Like I say, I talked about this a bit in the Beyond Classic series, but 3 gates is very much so not quite as aggressive as 4, but you're not going to kind of shy away from taking a 5-ish minute expansion still. So you're not typically looking to be like super aggressive here. We are building an Immortal, which says to me that herO has been very wary of the fact that Oliveira might attack him early. And so just kind of being ready for that as the Siege Tank goes down. It's a massive catch from herO. Way to open up the possibility of what else he can do now. So that definitely goes a long way to helping. As we do see the Immortal still coming through, number 2. So actually just really going to keep building that Immortal count up. Like I say, it'll be very good if Oliveira was to push early and quickly, but he is setting up for like 2 bases of setup at the moment. No 3rd on the way just yet, so the idea of a push from Oliveira would, yeah, very possibly be intriguing as our few Stalkers chilling out. We have our Marauders, our Marines on the way, Stim Combat, and +1 all coming out as well as our Hallucination comes through. Our Marines putting some damage out onto that Hallucination as our Refinery is about to finish up from Oliveira. Just going to see a couple of depots coming up as well. Our gateways are all building in. Just going to be seeing our Marines able to push Hallucination away as our units gather up. Our 3rd Nexus coming down. Our Prism getting set. Our charge upgrade also building here as we just have ourselves setting up for the moment. Getting nicely established for the first few moments in this. As a couple of gates continue through. Our Immortal continues up. Our Mortals and Sentries just in general being built as our army comes to the frontier. The Medevac going to move forward, and now we're going to see our bio units coming through straight away to push these Stalkers back. Stalker's just going to get chased away. Again, combat shield finishing +1 attack still coming up. We have the army of Oliveira finally on the move here. Immediately, herO is set. He knows what he wants to do. He wants to try and punish Oliveira for moving out at all. And he is going to get straight into this mineral line with the Zealots. There's units on the ramp for Oliveira, so they will come in as a response. Man, that's a massive warp in though. First Widow Mine's going to go. Oh no, not do anything. Good pickup in the Prism. Cute play. However, double Matrix, and I mentioned those Immortals added in defense. Well, one of them goes down quickly. Super Battery popped on the left side. That means the Immortal on the... Super Battery on the right side. So Immortal on the left side, not in range. So we take that down. Kind of cool movement from Oliveira. I think he just wasted a lot of shots on that second Immortal that was Matrixed. He really put a lot of damage on it during the Super Battery, so it didn't really result in anything. As our bio comes through, nips down a Zealot. Robobay and a few more probes coming up here from herO. Forge coming through too as our bio units will turn back around fighting against those Stalkers. But it is going to be pretty much a full cleanup from herO. Now, it wasn't for free. Obviously, this came at a pretty decent cost. You know, he did lose out on a couple of his Immortals. He did have to pop the Super Battery. He didn't have, like, a clean, complete pushback. Didn't take any damage defense. It was still a pretty darn good defense, though. There's no denying that fact. As well, Zealots will chill around on the bottom side. Maybe ready to make another move themselves in the near future. As our bio comes through, picks off a Zealot. Widow Mine's going to unburrow again. Zealots charge into the natural. A couple of units going to get into that bunker. The Zealots start to wrap around the bunker and just going to pick that off. So the bunker will go down. Marauder gets picked off as well. The Marine's also taking damage. You can see our bio units coming through and picking away at those Zealots as they'll try and go after a couple more of these SCVs. Widow Mine fires. Stalker already taking some shots. And it's going to be seen our Colossus at +1, our Liberators, etc. all continuing through. Just for now. Couple libs, few SCVs, a couple of Widow Mines coming out. Do you have our Zealot's going to go all the way around the far right-hand side as herO continues to set up counterattacks. Once again, I mean, this time it feels as though Oliveira does better on the initial attack, and so with the initial attack going better, definitely should help out a little, as we do have our libs coming up. The hallucinations get shot down as well. More libs still coming through. Our Colossus there to deal a little bit of damage also. And bio units gathering up on the bottom side. I'm just going to be seeing the Zealots continuing around the right as our Liberator comes through. Just going to be seeing the Bio Force coming about. The Zealots get chased over on the right side as well. Liberator sieges just trying to help hunt down Zealots. Anytime you can shut down Zealots for free is nice, right? It's a mineral investment. You know, Zealots are fairly cheap because they're minerals only, but that doesn't mean they're, you know, something you can just throw away for free every single time, so shutting down some Zealots, also just denying the potential of the run by, forcing herO to reinvest in that position if he wants to go for it again is nice, as we actually see Oliveira with a pretty hefty drop. Coming around the top side of the map, Medevac's fully loaded up, the Liberators are beginning to move forward. Yeah, it looks as though this is going to be a little bit of excitement here as Medevacs come straight through. The libs will be overhead, and there is the bio unload into this position. And gateways will start to take some damage, so some shots being dealt there. As herO just needs to get in position to deal with this. Liberator siege up on the low ground mineral line. It's just going to lift up, back away. If these units keep running forward, there's just going to be Widow Mines having the time of their life. Liberators just killed a Colossus that tried to move down to the low ground. That's actually a very good thing about the position we set up here. The Colossus kind of walking pathway down to the low ground is just deniable. It's actually very cute. As in the end, Oliveira has to back it up a bit, but 12 probes killed. He killed a serious amount of tech. He loses quite a few units maybe on the very end of this, but still overall I'd say pretty decent, pretty reasonable. Well, Widow Mines will reset again as we do blow up a Stalker already. Now a couple of these libs coming through and taking some shots as well. The hallucination still just poking and prodding. Our Stalker's going after some more of those medevacs, and just having that extra Stalkers warping in. Just going to come through, get rid of another medevac there, and go for some Marines as well, as the Widow Mine's still blowing up hallucinations. Stalkers coming down, just going to take down a Lib. And in the end, man, these Widow Mines have really dealt a punch. herO floating some money as well, so clearly a little bit thrown off by how these fights are going. Not quite keeping up with his macros, he should be. And it's rare to see herO the one floating resources, but he had a good 1,000+ minerals banked up doing absolutely nothing there, so... great play from Oliveira again, especially love the way that the Liberator Siege to hit the mineral line, but also cover where the Colossi could walk down to the low ground. And then he dropped to the low ground to kind of bait that movement as well. That's just very cute. Now we got herO on the counter-attack. Oliveira spreading into a great concave. Liberators will survive a decent amount of time initially. He does eat some disruptor shots, however, so herO finding a little bit of value out of this because of the disruptors, and he is going to maintain 2 Colossi pushing into this third. And is Oliveira still in some trouble? SCVs have to be pulled the last few seconds. Oliveira's supply has plummeted. SCVs are going to go down, which means his supply is going to fall even further, but it's not exactly even... You know, if you're pulling the SCVs, you want to at least push the army back. But now this army is still looking good after killing the SCVs. We've blown up some Widow Mines with the disruptor shots too, and it really feels as though Oliveira has not been able to stabilize on the follow-up here. Oh, after such a cool attack that seemed like it did so well, it still seems like herO is just going to be absolutely in command of this game too. Up 1 in the series as well, remember, as that disruptor shot flies. And does aim towards that Bioforce, which backs it up for a couple of seconds. Disruptor shot fires, another Widow Mine gets picked off as disruptors keep coming through. Colossi still moving up to the front as we just have ourselves another disruptor shot coming in. Disruptor shot after disruptor shot, continuing to zone, keep this army back, keep this army pinned away. Oliveira just struggling to again get up enough to really fight with the disruptors. Also the Colossi, if the units move through that choke point, the Colossi are going to have an absolute field day splashing against everything, so they're absolutely loving this position. And as a couple of EMPs will come down, the Colossi will turn into this. Zelt's charging forward, Colossi doing a lot, but IO units are taking a good amount of damage as well. It does seem as though this one is probably coming up to being just about done, unless Oliveira finds something in the last few seconds. He's making a bit of progress towards the Colossi. He is going to have a few Marauders still going. A couple Vikings in the sky. He's not dead just yet. Not exactly looking great, but he wasn't officially dead. He is going to call himself dead. GG's. There's no resuscitation here. herO 2, Oliveira 0. That is